Hello, TV fans. Welcome to another episode of Logan's Movie Reviews. And today, in our greatest shows in TV history, we're going to talk about Season 4, Episode 7 of Mr. Robot. And I'm joined once again by One Silver. How you doing, man?
Hey, good evening, Logan. Good evening, movie and television fans. As we talk about one of the greatest shows of the last 5 years, the iconic Mr. Robot, and it's funny, Logan, this show was released right after we did the True Romance review a few years back, and you said at the end of the show, it's time for Christian Slater to come back. And this happened right after that, and it resurrected his career, earned him a Golden Globe, and set the career of Rami Malek on fire as he won an Emmy for this show and an Oscar this year for playing Freddie Mercury.
Okay, so he won the Best Actor?
He won Best Actor this year for
Holy shit.
playing Freddie Mercury. Bohemian Rhapsody, yeah.
That's amazing. So yeah,
and the first year Mr. Robot was on, he won an Emmy, and he recently was nominated for a second Emmy, and that was nominated off the basis of this episode. This episode got him that Emmy nomination.
This is an incredible episode, an incredible show that, I mean, while you're watching it, it's really, it's so detailed that it's almost like you can't really understand all of it. And maybe that's the idea.
Because of the genius of Sam Esmail, the creator, writer, and director of the show. He oversees everything, and he plays deep attention to detail. And when we review this episode, you see that he had been cooking this recipe, and the dinner was done with this episode. And you go back, and you've been watching the entire series today, and you see, wow, this goes back to what happened with this and why he does that. And it all builds to this episode. Now, the season continues tonight. There's 3 episodes left tonight and a doubleheader next week that will conclude the series. The last 3 episodes are airing starting tonight and next week too, to finish the season and the series.
Yeah, so we should just start out, though, for those of you who haven't seen it, we're going to tell you about the spoilers here, so you should probably watch it. But
right, exactly.
Some people just want to get the rundown of what this show's about. So, I mean, why don't you give your rendition of it, and then I'll give mine, the overview.
The series began in 2015, and basically these 4 seasons are the year 2015. It doesn't go past it. The year 2015, and the series begins with Elliot, played by the great Rami Malek, going after a pedophile. Now, remember, this will come back into play when we go into the episode that we're reviewing. He goes after a pedophile, and he hacks these guys, and he blackmails them into look, you got to get the fuck out of here, or I'm gonna turn this over to the police. And I mean, he's in a diner, and the police come and get the fucking pedophile.
Yeah, I mean, he goes up basically to tell him that he's going to be arrested and that he doesn't care about money. I mean, it's just about he's like a crusader that exposes pedophiles with his hacking.
And so the first season is he's trying to bring down this corporation that he's working for, E-Corp.
Right.
And him and a team of hackers, and they're called F Society, and it's Elliot, his sister Darlene, Ron Cephas Jones, the older black dude who plays the grandfather on This Is Us, tremendous actor, Ron Cephas Jones, and he was also the mentor to Luke Cage on Luke Cage, and an Indian young woman, I forgot her name, Indian young man, and this is the crew that their job is to bring down F Society. That's their plan, and their main nemesis is the Dark Army, which is controlled by the great B.D. Wong. B.D. fucking Wong is, in my opinion, the star of this entire series because he's the great villain. He plays a phenomenal villain with a great backstory, and he's this transgender villain. He's just tremendous. B.D. Wong, who steals everything. He was great in Gotham. He was great in Oz, and he's great here in Mr. Robot. B.D. Wong, who plays
White Rose.
White Rose. Yes, White Rose. Yes. White
Rose is his female persona, right?
Yeah, he is sensational. Just sensational. B.D. Wong.
Right, but let's get it straight. I just want to nail down his character. He is the foreign minister for China when he's a man.
Right.
But when he's a woman, he's the leader of White Rose, which is the leader of the Dark Army. Okay.
Yeah, but he's the leader of the Dark Army either way. These guys are on his beck and call.
Right. But they seem to be they seem to respond. It's weird when he communicates as White Rose. It's always in the get up as the woman, but whatever. I mean, it's a weird. He's got a duality nature, just like the main character.
Yes.
They have.
Yes, and you caught that. I'm glad you caught that. You don't catch it right away, but eventually, I didn't catch it till last season, the third season, where wait a minute, Elliot is a dual personality, and so is White Rose, B.D. Wong. He's a dual personality, and they're battling each other and it's funny. Every one of Elliot's enemies want him to be on their side. White Rose,
right?
The evil Dominican drug dealer, Angela's father, Tyrell Wellick. All these guys have a thing for fucking Elliot. They want Elliot on their side. That's why he doesn't die. That's why they don't kill him off. They all want this. They all want this genius, drug addicted nut to be on their side. So season 1 ends with Elliot and the F Society bankrupting E-Corps. But because they did that, it sends the entire United States, especially New York City, into a purge-like atmosphere where there's crime and homelessness. And season 2 is him trying to reverse
Trying to undo it.
Trying to do it. But season 2 was great because for the first 5 or 6 episodes, first half of the season, you don't know it, but he's in prison for another crime that he committed. And he's bringing down the great Craig Robinson, who's his evil warden.
Right.
Craig Robinson was great because, Craig Robinson's always playing a clown, always a comic role. Not in Mr. Robot. Craig Robinson is deadly serious and an evil motherfucker. And great. Craig Robinson was great. And Elliot brings him down with the help of political rapper Joey Badass, who is also sensational in this series as Leon, the guy who works for the Dark Army, but also has a soft spot for Elliot and protects Elliot while Elliot's in prison. And they have conversations every day in the prison cafeteria about TV. Like, he loves Seinfeld. He talks about, you ever wonder why Kramer does this? It's just great. I mean, Sam Esmail's writing is off the charts in this series, and great characters like Joey Badass.
It's very Tarantino-like.
Yes, without a doubt. He's tremendous, and you have to have the right staff, and he has it, the right actors, and Joey Badass is one. Another, in season 3, you have Bobby Cannavale, who's sensational in everything he's in. Boardwalk Empire, he's in The Irishman. He's great in everything he's in.
Yeah.
Plays the Dark Army's fix-it guy, cleaner. He's a cleaner. And
he's like Harvey Keitel.
He's in like Harvey Keitel in Pulp Fiction. And he kills Meryl Streep's daughter's boss. Meryl Streep's daughter, Grace Summer, plays Dom, and she's been tremendous in this series as this lesbian FBI agent who wants to bring down Elliot and his
She's
crew.
totally clean.
And she
starts off clean.
And she meets White Rose in China and her whole team gets assassinated after she meets White Rose.
Yeah. But they don't kill her.
Well, they don't. No, but I think they tried, but she avoids the shots. Remember, she survives, but her entire team is wiped out. And with the assistance of her boss, who is on White Rose and the Dark Army's payroll, and Bobby Cannavale winds up killing him in front of Dom, tells Dom to bury the body, and now she has to work for the Dark Army.
Yeah, well, she takes his place as the mole.
Yeah, season 4, Bobby Cannavale has left, and he's replaced by this fat bitch who's great. This Janice is her name. This fat, nasty, evil bitch who threatens to kill Dom's family if she doesn't kill Darlene. And there's the episode after this, you see the repercussions of that, but we won't get into that because we're going to go up to episode 7. Real quick, there was a couple of plot twists in seasons 1 and 2. Season 1, you didn't know that Darlene was Elliot's sister, and there's a episode where he tries to tongue kiss her, and she's like, "What the fuck's your problem, dude? I'm your sister."
Yeah.
And I'm like, "What?" And another shocking twist is that M. Night Shyamalan, we find out that Christian Slater, Mr. Robot, who all this time you're thinking is this older guy helping Elliot as part of the crew, and I forgot to mention, Mr. Robot basically is the leader of F Society, and you see him talking to everybody, but it's Elliot talking to everybody. Elliot, that's one of Elliot's split personality. Only he can see Mr. Robot, and it's revealed in an episode that that's him looking at his father, but nobody else can see his father. I'm like, oh shit! Just like what's the fuck the movie with Bruce Willis and M. Night Shyamalan? What was that movie with fucking Haley Joel Osment? What's the name of that movie? M. Night Shyamalan's first movie. I See Dead People. What was the name of that movie?
Sixth Sense?
Yes, very Sixth Sense-like. Because only Elliot can see. And then we find out that Mr. Robot takes over Elliot's body and personality and leaves the team. And so all of this is going on. He tries to undo it. His childhood sweetheart, Angela, is involved in blowing up buildings, World Trade Center-like.
Well, let's talk about real quick. Let's talk about what they actually did. They erased everybody's debt because E is they're like the Bank of America or something like that. Like they have everybody's credit card debt.
Yeah, they're like Citibank, Chase, JP Morgan Chase, or Bank of America, where
all combined into one.
Yeah, right.
So they essentially have merged all these banks under one, and then they do everything. It's like if Amazon started buying banks, which they probably are going to start to do soon. So it's kind of envisioning a future where one company just rules the world, and they're having their own war with the Dark Army because the Dark Army wants to completely take over.
White Rose wants this project in the Congo passed by Congress, and the guy who's in charge of E-Corps, he's in White Rose's pocket, and he has influence with Congress to try and get this bill passed. So that's White Rose's objective, to get this bill passed so he can run things in the Congo.
They're setting up some kind of operation. What I think it is probably some massive hacking operation, in the Congo. It's almost like their own little country where they can operate from and be and do and control the world, essentially, is what they want to do, what this guy wants to do.
I agree with that. Yes.
And then you have this E Corp, and it's called Evil Corp, which is really interesting because you're hearing things from Elliot's perspective. So when they call themselves Evil Corps in the first season a lot, and you're like, are they really calling themselves Evil Corps? But it's just in his head.
No, that's Elliot. That's Elliot calling them Evil Corps. They're E Corps. Right. I don't know what the E stands for, but it's E Corps.
Oh yeah, yeah. But sometimes even the company themselves are being like, "We at Evil Core," and it's
Yeah.
just like because it's
Well,
all
those
in
are
Elliot's head.
remember the F Society is making videos with their mascot talking about this F Society, and we're here to bring down Evil Core.
Right. So they execute this thing. It erases everybody's debts, but then the kind of the value of nobody can use their credit cards anymore. It shuts down society to a point where
Hmm.
it's chaos, and they're like
Total
oh, we
chaos.
freed every
Yes.
right, and but
Hmm.
Darlene and Mr. Robot inside of him are like, yeah, we did it, we freed everybody. But the problem is that there are these paper records that E Corporation has, right? So they could still be looked at and then replenish their memory banks for all the debt that people have. So they had to go and destroy it, but they had to enlist the help of Angela, who they had to almost drive insane to help them do it, because
To blow
at
up
that
the
point,
buildings that had the paper trail, which
right,
totally drove Angela over the edge. She's home watching it on videotape, and she's rewinding it, thinking that she could undo her actions.
right. I mean, she just completely flips out because her mom, and she's also angry because her mom and his dad, they were both killed by
died
E-Corp.
working. Right, they both died of cancer working in E-Corp's plants. Right.
Right. And they weren't protected, and they got nothing for it, and
they got no compensation for it.
And they got and they covered up. They knew it was going to do that to them, and they covered it up, and they did it anyway. So all that stuff, they wanted revenge. But the thing about it is, they needed the Dark Army to do this, because the Dark Army had their connections and their hacking ability. So they teamed up with the Dark Army, which is basically like a hacker for hire. And they don't have really any noble cause. Like, they're in to make money just like everybody else. So
I'm glad you brought that up, because in season 1, Elliot goes to this hole in the wall on Times Square to help him with his hack, and who's the one that's helping him? Unbeknownst to Elliot, his white robes.
yeah.
I'm like, this bitch is all over the place. She's everywhere.
Yeah, when he first meets up with her, and she's just like, I only have 30 minutes for this meeting, and I'm never going to see you again. And, like, they have this really weird conversation where she's just like, look, if you can guarantee me that you'll be able to get in, then you can. He's still determined to burn the paper records. He wants to do it in a way that doesn't kill people in the first season. But then in the second season, he's trying to stop it, but they do it anyway. They burn the records, and they build.
Yeah,
they blow up buildings.
He's running. He's jumping turnstiles. He's trying to stop, but he's too late. He is too late.
And they try to and they kill people. They kill thousands of people with that.
I'm surprised Sam Esmail was able to do this, and the censors let him go. They've given him free reign, which is shocking considering that what happened with 9/11, that you don't see stuff like that. If I'm not mistaken, it's the first time on television since 9/11 where buildings were allowed to be shown as part of a dramatic series getting blown up, which really shocked the hell out of me. I'm like, this show pushes its limitations beyond the limitations, and I got to credit USA Network. They gave Sam Esmail free reign, and it's surprising that a show like this that it basically shows how corrupt the government is, and it's allowed to show it. There's a lot of truth on this fucking show.
What I want to know about this show is, did it start out as a novel or as something?
No, this is all Sam Esmail's idea. There was no novel. He came up with this concept. And it's all him. He's the creator.
But what did he
writer,
do before this?
He was a screenwriter for TV series. I don't think he's ever done a movie. He's working on his first motion picture with Rami Malek, and there's a bond between them two because they're both from Morocco.
He's Egyptian, Rami Malek.
They're both Egyptian. Sam Esmail and Rami Malek are both Egyptian, and so there's a bond. They're going to be tied together for the rest of their careers. And Rami Malek owes his career to Sam Esmail because before he did Mr. Robot, he was just getting bit parts here and there. He was in a couple of Spike Lee movies. There's another guy that Spike Lee put on the map. but he never got that starring role until Mr. Robot because of his Egyptian background. Robbie Malek, before this, I used to see him in Spike Lee movies as a high yellow black dude. Well, he's African, right?
Yeah.
Here, the first time I seen him play a white guy, and then, of course, he played the British legend Freddie Mercury. I mean, tremendous actor. And when we get into this episode, which we'll be getting in a few minutes, one of the greatest performances in the history of television. His fucking role, he plays that shit to the T. Right before we go on, I want to bring up P.D. Wong's White Rose character. There's an episode before this, Logan, earlier this season, the backstory of White Rose and why, where when he's a young executive, he falls in love and he's having a homosexual affair with another guy, and they're the ones building the company, and the guy kills himself because of his homosexuality.
Right. He has being forced to marry a woman, and he doesn't want to.
Right. So, he loves White Rose, and instead of going on with the marriage, he kills himself, and that sets White Rose into the person he/she becomes. And now let's get to this episode, a spectacular episode. Quick backstory. Elliot Villar plays this Dominican drug dealer whose brother was killed caused by Elliot earlier in the series. And he goes to jail. Elliot sets him up. He comes out of jail, and you think he's looking for revenge against Elliot.
Right.
Kidnaps Elliot's therapist. Now,
his
Elliot
name's Vera.
is going... Vera, yes, Vera. Elliot's therapist, she was great in this episode too, but she's been a recurring character. She plays Elliot's psychiatrist, and he kidnaps her, and she tells him, he's got this Mr. Robot secret. So that's the basis for what this episode, we begin the episode where Elliot is lured to her apartment where she's being held captive by Vera and his two goons.
He figures out through some footage of Elliot arguing with this woman in the street that this woman knows stuff about Elliot he's interested in Elliot's know-how and Elliot's hacking ability. He envisions himself as being like the ruler.
He wants to rule New York City. He reveals to Elliot in this episode that he took over the drug trade in the Dominican Republic, and he wants to rule New York like he's ruling the Dominican Republic.
Right. Okay. And he thinks that with them teaming up, that's what he goes to a shaman, and he gets a vision about how Elliot's supposed to be the one, even though Elliot fucked him up and he wanted to kill him and have revenge against him. Elliot busted him out of prison and showed him the way that showed him his power, basically, what it was, what he could do. So he's like, oh, this dude's got unlimited potential. So he just wants to figure out what makes him tick so that he can get him to want to work with him. He just wants to get inside of his head.
He killed Elliot's prostitute girlfriend. Elliot was sleeping with a prostitute that was a next door neighbor, and he killed her.
Drug dealer, yeah.
And that's one of the reasons why Elliot had him go to jail. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. And he was beating her, and he was abusing her. So yeah, and so he holds her hostage. He makes him bust him out of jail, and then ends up killing her in the end anyway. So he gets his revenge, but then he realizes, okay, I want this guy to work with me and help me take over New York and have my drugs on billboards and everything like that.
Right.
But he kidnaps his psychiatrist, and he looks at her notes. He forces them to have this psychoanalysis in front of him at gunpoint, and they just keep telling him there's nothing, we can't do this, we can't do it under these conditions. But then he starts reading her notes to him.
Mr. Robot, Christian Slater, takes over his personality and is like, hey, stop it. We can't go on.
He keeps subjecting, right.
He's trying to stop the truth from coming out. He's trying to control it. And Vera's having none of it. Vera's like, nah, I want to know everything. Keep asking him questions. I want to know what's going on. And when Elliot snaps out of it, and Elliot's like, what are you protecting me? Now, throughout the series, there was this recurring flashback where At first, it looked like Elliot was thrown out of a window by his father. His father played by Christian Slater.
No, but the original story is that his father had cancer, and because he told his mother the secret that his father had cancer, his father didn't want his mother to know, he pushed him out the window. And that's the first cover story. Right. Mm-hmm. But then it turned out, no, Darlene says, no, it wasn't actually that. It was you jumped out of the window because you were scared of Dad because he was mad at you.
The truth comes out in this scene. Yeah.
Yeah.
What's interesting is Mr. Robot, played by Christian Slater, is trying to stop that truth from coming out. Now, we learned in the episode after this, we'll bring this up before revealing anything, that all this time while you're watching this, Logan, while I'm watching this up until this episode, I'm thinking this is his father, like a ghost, helping him along the way, not realizing that was a personality, and it wasn't really his father. Christian Slater, Mr. Robot, was the alternate personality that used to help Elliot as a little boy, and now Elliot has Mr. Robot as what he wished his father was, not what his father is. Right.
Yeah, it's crazy, man, because this whole time we kind of grew to like this character.
Yes, you loved it. Christian Slater, one of my top 5 favorite actors of all time. I love Christian Slater. How many times have we reviewed Christian Slater movies on the show? He's phenomenal, just like he's in this series. And this is, in my opinion, the best acting job of his career. This episode, as he tries, he said, no, we can't do it. Leave it alone. No, don't bring it up. He's great. And Rami Malek, tell me what's going on. Tell me the truth. You mean, why did I throw myself off the window? Why? And the therapist is like, and then he goes, wait a minute. They draw it out. Wait a minute. Did my father sexually molest me? And the truth comes out. And when that hit, I'm like, oh, shit. Sam Esmail is a fucking genius. Because how many times throughout this series did he go after pedophiles, bring pedophiles down? Right. Unbelievable. And when it comes out, oh, my God. Rami Malek, unbelievable. He won an Emmy the first season he was on the show.
Oh, he's going to win it again.
To this one. He's going to win it again. He's going to blow this away because as great as he was season 1, he's an even better actor now. He has
he's got more practice.
Yes, and the emotion he shows in this episode is off the charts. And Elliot Villar as Vera, after the reveal, he's like, oh, Elliot, let it out. And Elliot's screaming, and when Elliot walks towards the window, you think Elliot is going to jump because he's looking at the window and he's screaming, and Vera's like, let it out, Elliot, let it out. And then he sits down and he's telling Elliot, I've been where you've been, man. My mother, she used to get high. She used to give me to her friends, and they did whatever they wanted with me. It's wrong what your father did, but you got past it. This would end people. You're reborn. And while they're hugging, Krista, the name of his therapist, stabs him in the back. And a great way to end an episode, unfucking real. She kills him as the episode ends. And wow, just an amazing episode.
The thing about this show is it makes you question everything because the reality presented is not always what it seems. So
exactly.
So I started to think that maybe this psychiatrist was part of the Dark Army. I mean, I don't know. I haven't watched future episodes, but it made me think that, maybe she's actually working for them to help.
She tonight is a new episode, and since the following episode after this, she goes to the police to report that she's got a dead body and she was kidnapped, and that's the last you see of her.
Well, in any case, she's a great character, and this reminds me a lot of Sopranos. Obviously they had the psychiatrist in that show,
right.
And that they had a similar episode when they're wandering around in the woods with Tyrone Wellick and Mr. Robot.
Very similar to the episode we covered on The Sopranos
Right.
when they're stuck in the woods. And you know, it's funny. This is the dead of winter. It's December 2015, and Rami Malek, Elliot, is walking through these woods with just a hoodie on, and
Yeah.
the cold doesn't bother him like it's fucking with Tyrell Wellick.
Now I'm starting to think.
Yeah.
I'm starting to think Tyrell Wellick is actually not real. But what do you think?
Oh, he's definitely real. He killed his boss, remember? No, he had his boss's wife murdered. He killed his boss's wife.
No, but I think he might be Elliot too. Like, I don't know. I mean, it's just like, because I never...
But he's another one that he was enthralled with Elliot.
Right.
He was enthralled with Elliot. He's like, Elliot,
we haven't really gotten their backstory yet. We haven't gotten their backstory really yet.
They showed Tyrell Wellick's a backstory. He had a domineering wife who made him do shit. She's the one that made him kill that woman.
No. I mean, why did he get hooked up with Elliot? I didn't get that. How did they start to work together?
You're right. You make a good point there, because he was Elliot's enemy, and then all of a sudden we find out when Elliot was in a daze that Mr. Robot got with Tyrell, and they were the masterminds of blowing up those buildings. They were behind all that. And you wonder,
I mean, they were the masterminds of the original hack.
I don't know because Wellick was trying to work his way up to being in charge of E-Corps, and he got passed over by that guy who he wound up killing his wife.
Yeah, but remember when he was sitting in the car with Elliot and talking to him, and like
that's
it was
right.
actually
That's right. You're right.
So
that
was like before any of this shit went down. So they were already working together.
Right. Yeah, you're right.
That's what's crazy. The alliances.
Yeah.
And it's funny, man, because the alliances are always shifting. You don't know who's working for who, and it's just like, wow. And so,
but all these evil factions. Tyrell Wellick. And by the way, Tyrell Wellick dies a heroic death. The actor Michael Wallstrom plays him great, and he dies a heroic death. He dies in those woods. He saved Elliot's life, and he gets shot, and he's left for dead.
Oh, we don't know, though, if he's actually dead yet, do we?
He's got to be dead. There's no need to bring him back. And then another reveal was the head of E-Corps was actually Angela's father, who had who was forced by White Rose to have her killed.
I know, that was a dramatic scene because she was such a major character, and they just killed her off so quickly, like it was nothing.
Yep. That was shocking. Right after the reveal, she gets murdered.
Yeah, and she's like, because she won't back down, because he's telling her to just like lay off it and just put your head down and don't mention it again. And she's like, no way, I'm going to fight this. And they're like, all right, I wish you hadn't said that. No,
and
that dude's cold-blooded. Yeah.
And
that
by the
dude's
way,
cold-blooded.
He dies. The 2 episodes after this one, episode 9, he gets killed by White Rose. White Rose shoots him in the back.
Oh, okay. Well,
Because
don't tell me anymore, man. I want to watch these shows.
Yeah. I'm not going to tell you anymore, but it just gets off. This fucking show is phenomenal. Sam Esmail deserves all the credit in the world. Great show. B.D. Wong, Michael Wallstrom, Rami Malek, Christian Slater, Carly Chaikin, who plays Darlene, Grace Gummer, who plays Meryl Streep's daughter, Bobby Cannavale, Joey Badass, Craig Robinson. They all are phenomenal. I mean, just great characters, great acting, all around. No wasted. Even if you hate the character, because the actor is doing a great job at fucking with your emotions. There's no wasted scenes. There's no wasted actors. There's no wasted characters in this show.
What I couldn't figure out, though, in this last season was what the fuck they were trying to do at that bank. Like, this last season, like, they break into a bank and they're trying to get everybody's code. I guess
because
it's
they're trying to redistribute, steal all their money. Steal the money.
I see. They put it all back.
Foreign dignitaries, White Rose, and all these dignitaries, and give it and just wipe all their money out and like Robin Hood, give it out to people.
I got you. And
that's
give
what
it to
they're
the
trying
poor.
to do. And there's a great episode where the woman that holds the keys to getting him access, he takes her out. He wants to dodge her.
He seduces her.
And then he throws ecstasy in a drink, and he's like, if you don't do what I say, I'm calling child welfare. They're going to give you a drug test, and you're going to lose your child. And she tries to kill herself. Fuck, this show is fucking deep, man. This show is fucking deep. Oh, and one of the great episodes, 2 seasons ago, 2 years ago, season 3, when Elliot tries to kill himself, and the little boy saves his life by hanging out with him that whole day, and he changes his mind.
Yeah.
As
that
you
was
can see,
great.
suicide has been a recurrent theme throughout this show. Suicide, pedophilia, government corruption. Oh man, who would know? Hacking.
So,
oh my God.
Do we see? You can give me one more spoiler. We don't see Mr. Robot ever again, right?
Yes, we do.
Like Christian Slater?
I'm not going to spoil it for you. Watch episode 8. There is a great scene between Mr. Robot and Elliot at the end of episode 8, the following episode, that cleans up everything and clears up a lot of shit for it. The only thing I tell you is what I told you earlier. It's not his father that he's playing. He's playing what he wished his father was.
And his ideal father.
I thought the same thing you did, Logan. I'm like, damn, we're never going to see Christian Slater again? Fuck, that's my man.
You know what's interesting? If you remember in True Romance, his imaginary friend was Elvis. And now he's the imaginary.
There is a lot of callback to Christian Slater's earlier roles.
Pump Up the Volume.
True Romance and Pump Up the Volume, because they even when Robbie Malek, Elliot is hacking somebody's name is Hard Up Henry or Harry Hardon, which was Christian Slater's code name in Pump Up the Volume when he was the underground radio disc jockey. And you see anti society. Harry Hardon was Christian Slater, Pump Up the Volume. Elliot and Mr. Robot is in Mr. Robot.
What's also great is they pipe in the Trump stuff. It all factors in, like Trump winning and everything like that was manufactured by White Rose.
Obama's still president in this series. They haven't gone to this whole series is based in 2015, and this episode happens, and this is our first Christmas episode, Christmas Day 2015.
Right, but they predict it, because they know the future, obviously.
The head of E-Court was like, you think I want to be like Trump? I don't want to run for president. I want to rule the world.
Right. No, but it's great because it's the perfect, Trump is the perfect culmination to what's going on in their world, just like it's going on in ours. So that marries the two worlds together. So, yeah, great realism and great writing.
And also, master editing by Sam Esmail, because when they make Tyrell Wellick the fall guy for the F Society,
the hack,
they have Obama say Tyrell Wellick, master.
Yeah,
Tyrell Wellick.
You see his mouth say it.
Yeah, I was like, oh shit.
How fuck they do that?
And it's coming out of his mouth. It comes out of Obama's mouth. Tyrell Wellick was the best. You know how Obama got that great fucking speaking voice. Tyrell Wellick was the master behind it.
We got to talk about just Tyrell Wellick's wife, though. What an evil, crazy, nutto character she was.
She was crazy. She forced him to murder that woman because and while
I don't think she wanted him to murder that woman. I think she wanted him to fuck her, and he just went and murdered her. He went a little nuts.
Because he did go nuts. And then
I think she wanted him to fuck her to control the guy.
And then when he faked his death, she started fucking her boy toy, and he got obsessed with her, and he wound up killing her. He shot her in the head.
After he talked her into framing, she talked him into framing that dude, the head honcho of E Corp, the one that
Right.
who got the job of her husband.
Was murdered. Right.
Right. So she framed him for the murder of his own wife, and then got Tyrell off so that when he came back out of hiding, he was exonerated. So she did all that, but then got herself killed because that dude got obsessed with her and shot her. So
shot her in the head. Oh my
man,
God! Yeah, he was pushing.
People just die like that, man. Like people just die in this.
She deserved what she got.
Do you think that they're gonna finally kill Elliot at the end?
Yeah, let's get into predictions. What we predict going to happen. I think Elliot dies. I can't see him living. I can't.
Yeah. I think people would be really upset, though, if he did.
Darlene is the only one that's going to survive, I believe.
Yeah, they can't kill Darlene, but they might. You know, you never know with this fucking show. They really, because I was surprised when they killed his girlfriend, the drug dealer chick, because she seemed like a major character. And when
they killed her off, but they
killed Angela.
Sam Esmail is not. They killed Angela off. He's killed a lot of major characters off. I was shocked when Tyrell's wife was murdered. I spoiled it a bit, but the head of E-Corps, he gets the bullet. Tyrell Wellick, that was not surprising, but I love how he died. He died a hero's death. Yeah. Right now, tonight's episode focuses on White Rose and I haven't seen it yet, but the preview show White Rose and Elliot in a showdown tonight. So we'll know. Next week is a 2-hour series finale. Next week, which takes place New Year's Eve, 2016.
I can see them spinning off a movie from this, like they did with Breaking Bad, because people are going to clamor for it.
Yeah, well, because the Sam Esmail and Rami Malek are tied together. They're already doing a movie now. So you could definitely see a Mr. Robot movie down the line, like El Camino, like Serenity, which was based off Firefly. I could definitely see something like that down the line. Even if Elliot dies, they could do flashbacks with Darlene as the main character.
And there was a lot of Christmas theme around this, so this does qualify as a Christmas.
Vera dies right in front of
when he gets stabbed by the psychiatrist.
By Krista. Yeah, and another thing, the episode before this was also continued. Is all on Christmas Day, you see the head of E-Corps, Angela's father, sitting in a restaurant by himself, lonely on Christmas Day, watching this woman and her little daughter sharing a moment, and you could tell that there was regret because he's thinking about Angela while he's watching this little girl play with her mother.
So you predict he's going to get killed?
I can't see him surviving. This man bankrupted the United States government two times in a year. He's got to die.
He doesn't end up restoring it the way he wants?
You'll see. You'll see. I'm not going to spoil that for you, but you'll see.
All right, well,
we'll see.
Let's wrap it up here. And what do we got next time for this show?
Next week, we got another Christmas movie next week. This was a great Christmas movie from 3 years ago, Christmas of 2016, available on Amazon Prime. The name of the movie is Almost Christmas, with a star-studded cast: Monique, Danny Glover, Gabrielle Union. Great cast, and Gabrielle Union's a beautiful woman, right? There's an even more luscious woman in this movie that plays a side chick for one of the married men in the movie. And I'm not even going to say anything. When you see it, you'll be like, damn, I was white.
Yeah, I'll know what you're talking about.
This bitch is bad. Oh my God! Yeah, Almost Christmas will be the second Christmas themed show of the year. That's next week, and that'll also be the last movie, Logan's movie of 2019. We'll pick it up in the first week of 2020 next week. Yeah.
That makes sense. All right, man. Yeah. Have a great week, man. We'll talk next week about Almost Christmas.
Hey, before you go, so your overall thoughts on Mr. Robot, the series, this episode, and the entire run?
Oh, man, it's like a Philip K. Dick novel wrapped inside a David Lynch movie with the modern touch of hacking and everything involved. I mean, I think it's a masterpiece, really. It's probably one of the most intelligent shows I've watched, so that's my assessment of it.
You make a great point. You see David Lynch influence. You see M. Night Shyamalan influence. You see Tarantino influence. You see Rod Serling Twilight Zone influence. All wrapped up into this series. And Sam Esmail's a fucking genius, man. He's just a fucking genius. And I don't think that's his real name. That shit doesn't sound Moroccan to me.
No, it is. It's a common Egyptian name.
I thought he had Americanized it. All right. I know Robbie Malek, definitely. That definitely sounds Egyptian.
What's crazy is that it looks like email. And it's all about,
Yeah, when the series first started, I was like, oh, because this is about hacking. His name is Email? Sam Email? Oh, no, it's Esmail.
It's great.
E-Corp stands for Esmail Corp. I don't know.
Probably, yeah. By the way, shout out to Tony Ann Singh. Miss Jamaica won Miss World this past weekend.
Oh, and it's the first time in the history of beauty pageants that every major beauty pageant in 2019 was won by a woman of African descent. Miss Teen USA, Miss USA, Miss World, Miss America.
That's great.
First time in the history of civilization. So they're just verifying what we knew a long time ago, right?
Yes. Everybody's got jungle fever now, but that's good.
Well, it's about fucking time, all right?
Yeah.
Yes, definitely. Shout out to all those beautiful women. What I love about all these women is different complexions. It used to be, Logan, in beauty pageants that only the very fair-skinned women of color,
like Vanessa Williams.
No, this year you've had dark sisters to light-skinned sisters. So shout out to every one of those beautiful women.
Right on. All right, man. Have a good one, man. I'll talk to you next week.
Talk to you next week, big man.
Peace. Thanks for listening, everybody.